Hey everyone, welcome to the Fresh Podcast, the Fresh Brew Podcast we call it, as we enjoy a little brew. Our guest doesn't have a coffee over there, I don't think.
That's all right.
You're okay?
About 4 this morning.
You're all right.
All right.
You've had enough? Yeah?
I've had enough.
All right.
We're very excited. This is kind of our first attempt at sort of doing the podcast on top of doing a video.
That's
podcast
right, yeah.
At the same time.
Okay.
We're waiting for a really big, important guest to come in, and we thought, well, Séan Cullen is
He's pretty important,
nice
I'd
of you
say.
to think that.
pretty important.
It's wonderful.
You know, and we're also looking for someone that had a Pizza Away jersey they could wear. And
There you go.
there you go, Séan. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure to be here. Go Pete's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing well?
They're having a great
Yeah.
season.
Oh, good, because
Yeah.
they had a good season last season, didn't they?
They started off really well last
then they
year.
died
and
to
then
death?
yes.
That's too bad.
Yes, they did, yeah.
That's okay. They're back with a vengeance, though.
I've come back and played on their rink, you know,
Yeah.
and it's the most ridiculous ice surface.
Pretty square.
Yeah, it's square. It's got corners, like literal corners.
Okay, this won't surprise you. You were born and raised in Peterborough.
Yes.
So you know how the city works.
Yeah, I know.
And so they did a major renovation.
Of course they did.
To the Memorial Center this summer.
Left the ice.
Left the ice square.
And made it like there's no way it could ever. The one thing that's sad is it can never host the Memorial Cup.
Not again.
Not
no.
again. Not with that ice surface.
Not since the fog of '96. Do you remember that?
Yes, it was amazing.
Sebastian Bach doing the anthem, and you know. Did you go to school
That
with
was
Sebastian
awesome.
Bach at PC?
I did.
You guys were classmates?
He was a couple of years younger than me. I remember him in the cafeteria with his high tops with the tongue sticking out on his feet, and and his leather jacket. He was cool.
He had
He
just
was
come
so
from
cool.
Moondance, probably.
Yes.
Probably Moondance Records.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which is sad, actually.
his-
The owner of Moondance passed away.
Just passed
and
away.
so did the store. It's gone now.
Yeah. Is it? Did it close?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Moondance
it.
is,
It's gone.
No.
new
that's too
name,
bad.
new owners.
Anyway, we'll talk lots about Peterborough throughout the show for sure, but it's a pleasure to have you here. You're an actor, you're a comedian, a singer, a musician. You kind of do it all. Is there anything you don't do?
I don't make a lot of money.
Okay.
No, you have to do all of those things to get some cash
Sure.
in the Canadian world. It's a labor of love.
That's
So
right.
I
yeah.
try and do a lot of different things, but I am just interested in lots of different
Yeah.
things. So it ends up being helpful.
Right on.
Awesome.
We're going to be chatting. You're going to be performing at Market Hall on
That's right.
the 28th of November, which is you would remember that well before the renovations. Like you would have went to a lot of shows there
Yeah.
when you were younger, and it's such
Sure.
an amazing venue.
It's an amazing venue. I always loved that clock tower.
Yeah.
It's
so
so cool.
iconic of Peterborough, and all of the faces of the clock seem to be at the right time now.
Yeah, they
Is
got
that
it pretty
correct?
coordinated. I think
Because
it's
it
like
used to be
digital
one
or
of them
something
was
now.
like 2 or 3
Oh,
hours
yeah.
off.
Yeah, it would
don't
always
care.
get you screwed up. Yeah. for
There's
sure.
always twice right a day for sure.
Sure, sure.
There was right twice a day. For
No,
sure.
twice right
now
a
they,
day is what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
But they also changed the colors of the clock now. Have
I
you noticed
know,
that?
It's
Yeah.
very exciting, sexy.
It is sexy.
People love a sexy clock.
they really do.
You have to be careful when you're saying that.
Even
though.
yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to slip the tongue there.
There you go.
So,
Sexy clock.
so did you actually do some improv at the Market Hall? Like, how did you
I never
get started?
did. I started off I went to high school at PCVS,
Right.
but that was before it was an art school.
Okay.
And before it was closed. But it's I started doing drama club there, and then I did dinner theater at a place called Whispers that used to be under a place called the Coach and Horses
On Water Street.
on
was it?
Water
Oh,
Street.
wow, okay.
Yeah, and there I did a bunch of plays. I did Play It Again, Sam, and Odd Couple, and No Sex Please We're British, a farce, and it was silly. But one day, there was the theater was dark for a weekend, so they brought in the Second City touring company.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
And Mike Myers was in it, and I realized now that it was Mike Myers. I didn't know.
Oh,
who
You
he
didn't
was
know
man.
then, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because he was
awesome.
nobody then.
I've never heard that. That's
yeah,
cool.
and so it was amazing, and I kind of thought, well, people make a living doing that. Maybe I can try that. So I went and auditioned for the University of Windsor Bachelor of Fine Arts and Acting career choice, and that went okay, and I started doing comedy, and out of that,
And that's
to
how it
this day.
started.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have you
that's
ever
awesome.
run into Mike Myers since?
I've only
your travels?
I did run into him. He came to see my show when I first did my show Wood, Cheese, and Children in Toronto.
Okay.
He came, and then he sent me a really nice note
Oh,
saying
wow.
how much he loved the show, and then he I was in The Love Guru briefly.
Okay,
It
right.
was not the greatest film, people say, but I was the
It had hockey in
I
it.
was the referee.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they dubbed my voice over. I don't know why. Like, they kept making me yell and yell and yell, and I was like, why am I yelling so much? And then they got someone else with a louder voice. They dubbed
They
it
didn't
in.
even use your voice.
No, it was really worthless.
Usually they use your voice and like dub out your body.
Whole body. Yeah, they just green screened in someone wonderful.
Oh, I take that as a compliment. They
Yeah.
left you in and just replaced
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
know. From what I understand, the film, I've never watched it because I've just heard such bad things about it. But I don't know.
he's done better stuff.
He has
I know
done
for
better
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back to the jersey quickly. We were talking off air before we got going here. The Petes went back to their traditional maroon and white jerseys and the
Yes.
white with maroon after experimenting with those black and off-white jerseys. And it was
This is no one else has this color.
that's
And
right.
it's-
That's right.
It's a
yeah.
simple two color situation.
Yeah, maroon and white.
Can't go wrong.
The
Yeah.
Leafs have blue and white. Detroit red and white.
Simple.
Maroon and white.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And the stripes down the arms. And sometimes when you're playing, people think you're on the other team because they see the white stripe.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you're on the
And they
light
give you
team.
the puck.
And then they give you the
That's
puck,
what
and then you
happens to me a
score.
lot.
And then,
yeah.
It's the only way I get the puck.
Séan Cullen is our guest. We'll talk a little bit more about hockey and then your show coming up. We actually are going to flip over to live radio now. We're multitasking.
Yeah, I
here,
know,
man.
right?
God,
This is great.
insane.
All right, so we're going to transition a little bit from the podcast over to actual live radio, and if I can figure out
Yeah, that's just true.
how to do this.
It's kind of confusing.
I don't know if it's going to interrupt a podcast or not, but the boys can.
You can't
they-
interrupt a
No, that's
podcast.
true.
It just keeps going no matter what.
That's true.
All right, here we go. Let's try this.
There we go.
Today's best holiday mix. It worked. It worked. We're doing a podcast off the air,
Wow,
and
that
with
was
3
super
seconds
fast.
to spare, we flipped over here at 8:41. We have a special guest in the studio. If you were watching Global Peterborough earlier, you would have seen him. He's wearing a beautiful classic maroon Pete's away jersey. It is Séan Cullen, comedian, actor,
That's right.
singer, dancer. You do it all. Good morning,
I
Séan.
do it
Welcome.
all. I'm into farming as well. I have
Really?
a small
Really?
experimental farm.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'm just lying to you now. That's not right.
Something to strive for.
No, it's amazing, and it's all Christmas music all the time right now.
Yeah,
it
you like
is. Yeah, we launched
I
it on
love
Friday.
it.
Yeah.
I'm sad, but I love Christmas music, so I listen all the time.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We appreciate it. We need to get you to do one of those IDs. Hi, this is Séan Cullen. When I'm back in Peterborough, I listen to Peterborough's best holiday mix.
There you go.
That'd be
Fresh
great.
Hi,
That'd
I'm
be
Séan
awesome.
Cullen, and when I'm back in Peterborough, I listen to Peterborough's best holiday mix. Fresh.
That sounds like someone we know.
Do you like some fresh Christmas music? Or holiday music? Excuse me.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, I guess.
Oh, boy.
You never know.
So
No,
you're in
that's true.
town, you're back, and you're ready for a big show next Thursday at
Mm-hmm.
Market Hall. Tickets are on sale now for this one of my favorite venues in the entire city. It's a great spot
That's
to see
wonderful.
anything.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful place, and all the renovations they did to it, it's an amazing venue now, and it's so great the way it's modular, and you can have as many seats as you want, or like in the cabaret style or whatever. It's great. I love it, and I like being under the clock because I can hear it ticking while I'm doing the show. It gets me excited. I love a ticking sound.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Puts me to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
When
look,
it
Get
rings,
some people
oh,
excited.
well, here's a fun fact, off topic a bit, but the clock was silent for a lot of years.
Oh my God.
From when the Toronto Maple Leafs used to hold their training camp in Peterborough in the 60s. Apparently, it was keeping up Frank Mahovlich at night. It was waking him up every time the clock would go off. Like at 12 o'clock, it would go off 12 times.
Yeah.
He had it shut down. That's the story.
Frank Mahovlich had
Yeah,
it
the
shut
big
down.
M. Yeah.
The big M. What a jerk.
I know.
He had some pull, I
What a
guess.
jerk.
Totally.
Thing is, though, the Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup since.
Oh.
That's
See?
right. And the clock, it was his fault.
Yeah, it's karma.
That's right. I don't know what their excuse is now.
Yeah, I don't
Something's
know.
keeping them up. but not during games.
No,
They're asleep.
they're asleep.
They're sleeping for sure.
Anyway, so it's going to be a great show. You're going to have a little bit of everything. You're going to be a little bit of comedy, a little bit of singing, music, little bit for everyone.
Yeah, a little bit of for everyone, a little bit of improvisation, lots of new. I've written a new show. I just did it just for Last 42 in Toronto. So lots of new material and things you haven't seen before. And I've got a great opener named Chris Locke, who's a brilliant comic, and he's going to be doing some time off the top. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yes, and maybe I'll do some weird things with him too. Who knows? I mean, not weird in a sensual way, but weird in a
Wacky.
wacky
Weird
way.
and wacky way.
Weird in a wacky way.
All right, Séan Cullen, stick around. We're going to do another break with Séan coming up here at about 8:52. In the meantime, details on Jammin' in Jamaica. That's it. All right, we're
We
back.
back?
We're back to
Wow.
regular podcasting
Wow.
now.
That was sly, man.
That was good.
So
That
yeah,
was good.
that was fun. That was good. So we just talked about the show. How can people get tickets to the show? I imagine they go down to the Market Hall box office, or probably buy them on the computer nowadays.
MarketHall.org, I
.org?
believe, is you can get tickets there, and you can also get tickets at the box office.
At
sure.
the venue, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Why don't you go down and have a little walk, get off your butt,
Get downtown.
Get
maybe.
downtown. yeah.
because it's hot down there.
So when you grew up in Peterborough back in the 70s, you're not much older than me. I think you're closer to my brother's age.
Right.
The place to go was Peterborough Square.
Peterborough Square, man. It was so cool. Riding the escalators,
Oh, yeah.
looking around at people. There was an Eaton's,
There was.
and that's where I
Steamboat.
did my first
Oh,
live
yes.
performance.
Get out at Eaton's.
At Eaton's, I did a talent show they had in the middle of the day in the middle of the furniture section. And I won $20 for
For-
singing
Yeah.
Green Alligators and Long Neck Geese. That song.
$20.
The unicorn song by the Irish Rovers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
it was
goodness.
great.
What was it, like just a $20 bill?
A
Or
$20
was it like
check.
Check?
Hang on one sec.
Downtown Peterborough.
Okay, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was
Shoreline's
good.
Casino. There's a casino here now. It's
Yeah.
good.
Right in the town. Yeah.
Right in town, yeah.
Did you stop in on your way in?
The older people love the pokies, don't they? They love the slot
Yes,
machines.
my parents are huge fans.
Yeah, go in there with a bucket of quarters, spend a couple
Yeah.
of diapers, and you stay in there all day.
I know, it's crazy.
I don't know what it is. I just don't understand slot machines. It's so,
It's an addiction, I think, for a lot
Mind-numbing.
of
For
people,
some, yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're going to go in and drop, $10,000 on the blackjack table or something.
No,
like that.
no. Definitely not.
Pokies, the thing's just quarters. It seems a lot more manageable.
I don't know.
You betcha. But anyway, before I interrupted everything,
all right.
your go-to Saturday. So a Saturday growing up, you head down to the square. Now, you could probably walk from where you grew up, or did you have to
I
take
grew
the
up
bus?
at Monaghan Road and King. So
Ah,
not too
okay,
far.
gotcha.
I could walk to school I went to St. Peter's Elementary. That's gone now,
Mm-hmm.
turned into a retirement home. And then PCVS is where I went to
High school?
That's closed as well. So don't come to the Market Hall because it'll close. No, it'll be fine. But yeah, we go down to the Peterborough Square. I used to be quite a nerd. I played a lot of, Dungeons and Dragons, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Ah, gotcha, yeah.
But there used to be a place called Sneaky Pete's
Yeah.
in the Peterborough Square, and I would get French fries there.
Oh,
a
yeah.
French
bucket
fries
of
and
French
gravy?
fries. Oh, so good.
Bob and
I know.
Maureen Lewis were the
Oh,
operators
really?
of that. Yeah, they listened to the station. They sent me a Sneaky Pete's mug several years ago that they had. It was a travel mug ahead of its time.
Yeah,
Way
totally.
ahead of its time.
With
But
the
who
little
would go-
holder.
but who would go to
Nobody.
Sneaky
For
Pete's
coffee?
to get a coffee?
No,
Not me.
no. Probably my dad
Especially
did, yeah.
traveling.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I just remember one time they were having their anniversary or something like that. Not the Sneaky Pete's, but the entire mall.
Mall itself?
And we were coming down the escalator, and the escalator was absolutely full. And they brought the cake right across the bottom of the escalator, and it blocked the escalator, and people were screaming. It was hilarious. People were afraid, and the cake was almost destroyed.
Oh dear.
It was amazing.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, there's great moments like that in Peterborough. Like, I remember they were celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Lift Locks, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was there for it, and there was a muskrat or something on the edge of the the bucket that goes up, like the big
the
thing,
chamber.
the chamber,
Yeah.
and it was just dangling off.
Oh, my
and it was
goodness.
Like, and people were like, "Oh my god!"
Serious?
Yeah, it was either a beaver or a muskrat, and it fell eventually. It plummeted down. I don't know if it lived.
Did it
We
land?
never found it.
Nothing against
Oh, my
muskrats, but I
goodness.
hope it was a muskrat and not a
And not a
beaver. That
beaver.
can't be our national, the beaver. Like that would just. How ironic is that? Falls
I know.
off.
Well, what I
the
don't
lift lock.
understand is people make muskrat pie, right, and they eat it. Why do they eat beaver things? Why
Yeah.
don't they eat beaver food?
I don't know.
Beaver cutlets.
Beaver
and stuff.
tails.
Beaver tails.
Beaver
yeah.
tails
that's
is a
big
thing.
deal.
Yeah,
but
but
beaver
if it was
pie-
actual beaver skin, I don't think people would eat this many of them.
It's all in the name.
It is.
You think?
It really is. There's some names of foods out there I can't
That you just won't touch because of the name.
because of the name.
Yeah.
Goulash.
Like
I don't know.
Goulash
It-
is delicious.
It is delicious. I just think it needs a better name. Like
Well, those
goulash. It reminds me of a
Hungarians.
soaky boot or something.
It is a it
Like a
is
goulash.
Goulash. It reminds me of goulash.
A goulash. What do
Those
you put
rubber
in your
things that go
goulash?
over. Yeah.
It's like an old foreign man.
Hey, did you ever go to Sam's Italian Deli on Park Street? Do you remember that place? Or
Yes.
that was another great old place there.
Well, I used to love Ace Submarine
Oh.
as well,
Oh, yeah.
which was great.
Cash only.
And also, my Royal Burger was
Ooh,
my
yeah.
favorite place. And I'd go there after working at Ponderosa, and we'd get
Did
off
you work
late
at
night.
Ponderosa?
I did work at Ponderosa in the, I washed
Lansdowne or Chemung?
dishes, the Lansdowne one.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
a hell job.
That's a terrible job.
It was a hell job.
I did it at the Ponderosa in the North
The
End,
salad bar?
and I lasted a week and a half. That was the
I-
grossest job I've ever done.
It was just people, they bring in bus bins filled with
Oh,
just
yeah.
like diapers
Oh.
and old mashed potatoes. And you'd be like, I have to sort through this just to get these dishes onto the washing machine. I have to get rid of this stuff. It's not
Oh,
cool.
well-
It wasn't a great time. But
No.
it was a reasonable priced meal.
Oh,
for a family.
$5?
Yeah, you could
That
get a
salad
steak.
bar was awesome.
The salad bar was amazing. It was the first real salad bar that
Yeah,
was
you're
available
right.
to people.
And they had the best ice.
Oh, they
They
really
had like that
did.
crushy ice stuff.
Stuck in the middle there.
And the best hamburger buns, they were able to butter them up or something
Ooh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ponderosa's.
they bake them.
Is that
a
what they
bit.
did?
Yeah, they were very good.
I
and
could go for
they, whenever somebody dropped a pie on the
Oh
ground,
no! Oh no!
they would make it into cobbler.
Great to know now.
Yeah,
I wish I had
the
known that then.
that's the secret. If a pie was broken, it became cobbler.
They used to feed it to all the St. Alphonsus kids that used to go there for lunch because
Yeah.
it's right there behind.
Oh my
perfect.
goodness! The secret's
Now a Red
out.
Lobster, though.
Dead lobster.
Oh,
for
very
the
good.
Did,
seafood
Sean,
lover
did you ever
in
venture wheelies? Remember wheelies, the roller skating?
Yes,
rink?
that was
Yeah.
up there by Cullen Plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
right
it?
on
Plum-
Consilla.
Right by McGee's, yeah.
Yeah, It's Jack, the man to see is Jack McGee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
The Little Prophet. Remember that? The Little Prophet. It's a holiday for the Little Prophet.
I don't remember that one, but that's.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll bring it back.
They might bring it back.
I played
Yeah.
soccer for a team called the Don Earl Dusters.
Oh, yeah, Don Earl.
Don
yeah.
Earl.
Yeah.
Chrysler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played lacrosse for the Keith Brown Chargers,
Oh boy,
the Keith Brown Dodge Chargers.
nice.
They were a dynasty.
They were.
It sounds like every car guy back in the 70s and
Owned
80s
some sort of
helped out
sponsored.
the kids, you
Helped
know?
out the kids for sure. Well, I played church hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Church League.
Yeah.
For St. Pete's, or who did
Yeah,
you play
St.
for?
Pete's, and then I was traded because
Oh.
they didn't have enough kids at George Street United
Well,
Church.
yeah, I mean,
So I played for George Street for a few years.
yeah. St. Peter's had so many.
Yeah, there were too many.
You know, you got moved around a little bit to the United churches and
We
stuff.
were distributed.
Was it a big blockbuster deal, or was it just
Oh,
straight
no,
up?
the problem was my dad was a coach, so I had to go.
Wherever he went, you went.
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't
sent
even
me.
go?
Didn't take you with you with him.
He's like, oh, I feel
traded
bad
you.
about sending anybody else, so you're going.
You're out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was a fun time. No, it was all right.
Son, I got some good news and bad news. So,
Good news is I'm not coaching you.
yeah,
Bad news is you're leaving.
You're gone.
traded to St. George's.
St. George Street.
Or
not
George Street, right?
George
yeah.
Street
Yeah,
United.
you don't want to get those two mixed
No,
up.
that's terrible.
All right, we're flipping back to live radio
Oh, my
again.
God.
Here, yeah, here. Peterborough's official Christmas music station, 853. We're also doing a podcast at the same time, which you may have heard over the commercial break because I believe I failed to turn off the mics. But we didn't say anything bad. We didn't swear.
You know,
No.
it's just very
It was
confusing for
it,
you.
It was just
Yeah.
very confusing.
There's a lot
and
going on over
I'll
there.
gladly replay those advertisements.
I know you will.
Later on again.
What were they for?
I'll make them up. I don't know. Holiday 4. You were singing a live Holiday 4 jingle from when
the
you were a
Little
kid.
Prophet. At Holiday Ford, a little profit. At Holiday Ford. It was like a little kind of genie on the television ad.
It was a TV ad.
A little genie. It was the little prophet. A play on the word prophet.
I think they should bring it back.
We'll have to look that up in the archives here. It's Séan
some
Cullen,
good
our
stuff.
guest here. He's a singer. He's a musician, actor. He does a lot of things, and you have a show next Thursday at Market Hall, and you got an opener too,
That's
which
right.
will be
His
good.
name's Chris Locke. He's a
Yeah.
brilliant comic. He's very funny. You can check him out on YouTube. He's great. Yeah, and it's going to be a great show. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I love the venue, and this is a wonderful town and deserves some comedy.
That's right.
Right on. You must get excited to come back. I mean, I know your
course.
mom's still here. We can't talk about her. She doesn't like
she's,
that. But
my mom's at home. She's still waiting. Remember when I was a kid, they would always have the deaths announced
yes,
on the radio.
yeah,
at
right.
noon.
The obits.
Yeah.
And she loved that. That was her resting at the Comstock Funeral Home. Keith Wilson. Survived by his wife Leslie and children Steve and Wendy. She would just be, silence for this,
Yep,
please.
silence.
I've got to hear who died. Because my mom was a nurse and at St.
Oh,
Joseph's.
she would know
She
a
knew
lot
everybody.
of people.
So she knew she was like feeding them to the funeral homes. She was like the feeder system.
She was
This
getting a piece of the action.
Yeah.
She sure was. She was great. And she still is great.
Oh, that's
But,
awesome.
She's been retired for quite a while, so
No.
the deaths they don't do the deaths anymore. It used to be on checks. Was it the Sunshine Sean show?
Yeah, Sean Air would have done
Sunshine
them.
Sean
Yeah,
Air?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Del Crary.
Yeah.
Del
Gee,
Crary.
you're going way back.
That's
Wow.
a long time. It was Del Crary Park. Is it still Del Crary Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is until they sell it to a
developer.
Yeah,
and
or
then
something.
Yeah.
It'll be Happy Moments Land.
It'll be branded at some point.
I understand that Beaver Mead Park is impossible to swim in anymore because of the amount of duck poop.
It's
in the
day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
It's
check the
day-to-day.
listings there.
Which
on
is weird, day to
that
day.
one.
Like one day's good, one day it's not.
That
Makes
seems
you think.
unlikely to me.
Yeah.
It's either all poopy or not poopy.
It depends on which way the wind's blowing, Sean.
I know.
That is for sure. Hey, listen, thanks for coming in.
It's
You
a
can check
pleasure.
out the podcast for the people that are listening. We'll have that posted later this week, and your show is next Thursday, Market Hall, and you can get tickets at the hall or online, markethall.org, I believe. They lucked out and got one of those .org.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Not too many of those.
They're a strictly not-for-profit situation.
Gotcha. Right on. It's Séan Cullen, everyone. Thanks for coming in. It's 8:56. We'll launch the Most Music 9 to 5 coming up next.
Thank you.
Okay.
There we go.
We're back. We got 5 minutes left.
Oh, we got 5 minutes left.
We're still rolling on this, and then we'll wrap it up.
All
Have you
right.
out of here by 9.
That's fun.
Nice.
All right. What's the rest of your day like now?
Well,
Did
I
you
have to
visit
go
Mom
and
while you're here?
Yeah,
or-
I'm going over to see my mom after
Yeah.
this, and then there's something else. I think we're going to the Wolf, so I'll be back in this building.
Oh, okay.
you're leaving and then coming back again.
I'm going to do everything.
You're gonna
Every
have this-
single thing.
This used to be a canoe company here, apparently.
Oh, I hear
back
that,
in
yeah.
the day, yeah.
Yeah, Kenner is not far from here, is it? Kenner
No,
Collegiate?
it's just down the road.
That's where all the tough kids went.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they saw. So they said.
Whenever I see somebody and they said, I graduated from Kenner, and I always say, oh, you're the one. But
Yeah.
they don't find that all that funny.
You're
don't.
the one.
They don't.
My in-laws went to Kenner, so I have to be very careful. And as
Okay.
you say, a lot of tough.
Tread lightly.
It was a tough town.
There's some tough guys
Hey,
there.
South End, blue collar,
Sure.
you know? It was you guys up in the avenues. Is that what you would call your neck
I
of the
guess
woods?
so, but I mean, not like Weller and Walkerfield. Those are high end.
Oh, you're the lower end of
I was like,
Monaghan and
we're
King.
the mean streets of Monaghan and King.
Right on. Any other famous people grow up in that area? Did you grow up with any? I know earlier in the podcast you went to high school with Sebastian Bach. He was a little younger than you, but
Well, I went to high school with Jim Balsley.
oh well, yeah, he's pretty
He
famous.
went to
He
PCBS.
invented the BlackBerry.
He invented it. And
He did
then
okay.
I
Destroyed
guess
it.
so.
Yeah. Despite all that, what do you think he's worth at this?
He's probably got a lot.
He
of
still
money.
has a lot of money.
I would think
even
so.
the company because the company went.
Yeah, but they still sell Blackberries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And they just had a new one come out, BlackBerry 10.
Did they really?
Yeah. So I'm assuming, and a lot of countries that like security in the phones,
The governments.
the
Yeah.
governments, they use Blackberries.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's still a thing.
It's still something. I'm
That's
sure
pretty
it's-
pretty
That
cool.
would be plenty for me.
Yeah.
If I had that money, I'd be happy.
You'd be okay. You wouldn't be
I'd be
here
done.
talking to us today.
No,
yeah.
I would, just because I could.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, something to do.
That's true.
Something to do. I'd be so tired of being wealthy. that I'd come in.
Well, we appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, good luck on the show Thursday, November 28th.
Yes.
And we'll be checking that out, and tickets are available, and it should be a great night. Will Mom come to that show?
My mom will be there.
Good.
Yeah, she'll
that's
be
awesome.
covering her ears.
But she'll be there.
Weirdness, but she'll be there.
All right.
Can't wait for
She
the
only has to
weirdness.
cover one ear. She has a deaf ear.
Oh, well, that's
Just one ear.
Easy,
so one
then.
arm gets tired.
She switches seats
Yeah,
halfway through the
Excuse
show.
me?
for sure.
Swap it up.
Thank you, Sean. It's always
Thank you.
great to see you,
Great
and
to see
you're
you.
looking great in that Pete's jersey. And go Pete's, go!
Yes.
Go Pete's, go.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
That's Séan Cullen, everyone, our guest here on Fresh Brew. Danny, it was a pleasure to have him in. And
Yeah, I know.
We
I
never
can't
did
wait
it.
for the show.
Yeah, we should have asked him. How do you take your coffee? And we always ask our guests.
Black.
Just black. Okay.
All right. Good to know for next time.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Fresh Brew Podcast, and this time around, watching it.
I know.
As
this
well.
is our first. I think you did pretty good over there.
Yeah, we were only on the
Little slip at the
yeah,
slide,
we're
like-
just one little slip.
It's all good.
It's all good. We'll talk to you next time, everyone. Ciao for now.
See ya.